任せろよ。連星魔法の応用でジルママジーロ。
I just want to make a phone call. The Magical Family, Mahou Sentai MagiRanger. Okay, get that all sorted out. Oh, hey, guys. Welcome to Chikyu Seijin ProtoMet, or Earth Alien ProtoMet. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about Mahou Sentai MagiRanger. This was actually one of the earliest seasons of Super Sentai that I watched when I was first getting into the franchise. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't much care for it. I didn't hate it, but I just wasn't too big of a fan. Though I did know that other people were quite fond of it. It just didn't really feel that good to me. Until Ninja came out. But anyway, maybe I was being biased. I mean, I was watching a bunch of other seasons of the Super Sentai series, so maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Well, let's talk a bit about the plot. When monsters begin appearing, 5 siblings learn from their mother that their father, a heavenly saint named Blagel, had 15 years prior prevented the invasion of a demonic force known as Infertia and sealed them in the underworld. Now Infertia have begun to rouse yet again, and with their father gone and their mother, who goes missing shortly thereafter, the 5 siblings must become magicians and use their courage to battle against Infertia and save the surface world from invasion. And after a time, they gain help from other heavenly saints who were connected to their father, and even more powerful enemies emerge, and ultimately gods even become involved in all this. So, why didn't I like this season? It doesn't seem that bad on the surface, but there were a couple reasons why I didn't care for it, at least initially. For one, I kind of felt that the siblings didn't really feel too much like siblings. I felt that the show had a bit too much of a focus on the family and not nearly enough on anyone not related to the family. And I just didn't much care. So, rewatching it, is it still as bad as I recall it being? On the subject of the first issue, which is the siblings not really feeling like siblings, I'm honestly not sure where I came to that conclusion, as upon rewatching it, it actually does feel like the characters are siblings. So, there's no issue there. On the second issue of focusing too much on the family and those connected to the family, while that is still the case, even upon rewatching it, I don't have too much of an issue with it now. And I actually kind of like the fact that it focuses on this family and their struggles to stop the underworld, the Infertia, from invading the surface world. And to be completely honest, me watching a bunch of other Super Sentai shows really did taint my judgment of this, as I'd been watching some other better Super Sentai seasons, and admittedly some worse at the time. So I was kind of getting burned out on Super Sentai at the time. And with those 3 issues essentially out of the way, what did the show actually get right? Well, the dynamics between the characters actually do feel pretty natural, and the show has quite a bit of comedy and seriousness to it. While I will admit that towards the end of the season some stupid stuff happened, overall I actually have a pretty positive view of this season. It certainly wouldn't make it into my top 5 Super Sentai seasons, but I don't hate it nearly as much as I used to. The show has some pretty good special effects throughout it, some decent characterization throughout, a few missives here and there, but for the most part it's actually a pretty good season. I honestly would recommend checking it out. It's not nearly as bad as I remembered it being, which is actually a good thing. In fact, rewatching it, I actually had a lot of fun. I can definitely say that I certainly was burned out on Super Sentai watching it the first time, so that really clouded my judgment of it. But I never said that it was a terrible series, even back when it wasn't my favorite. In fact, the harshest thing I really ever said about it was that it just wasn't my favorite. And I was fully aware that a bunch of people really enjoyed the season. It just didn't spark me with that fascination as it did for others. So yeah, I'd say go check it out. It's a pretty good series, pretty good special effects, nice, fantastical visuals, and just fun to be had all around. For Earth Alien ProtoMet, this is me, ProtoMet. See ya. Now, where are my pants?